guys, welcome back to Skincare Anarchy. This is Ekta, and I have a phenomenal guest today. I'm so excited. This is super surreal for me, and I'm sure you guys have caught her on the Ellen Show, and she had her most recent appearance just last week, I believe. So without further ado, I want to introduce you guys to Kym Douglas, who is a wonderful beauty expert. She has so much knowledge and just so much great insight. So welcome to the show, Kym. I'm so excited you're here.
Ekta, we have got a great show. I'm so excited about talking to you, and it's a privilege to be here. You have talked to some really high-powered women and people in the beauty industry, and I am so excited to be a part of it.
That's amazing. Yes, I thank you so much for the compliments. It means the world. And I know when you said yes, it was so surreal for me because I was like literally screaming. I was like, oh, she said yes. So
that makes me feel good.
Good. Well, I want to dive in, and I want to start from the beginning because I want to know all about your wonderful career, and if you could share your journey in the beauty world with us and really what intrigued you about it from the beginning and how you got involved.
So you want to go way back, or do you want to go just beauty?
Well, let's go way back.
Let's go way back. Okay, yeah. Buckle your seatbelt because this is going to be a bumpy ride. All right, we'll start out raised in a suburb of Detroit, Michigan. Parents, immigrants from Scotland. My dad still wears a kilt. Thank you very much.
Love it.
Kilts, love it. And my mom was a homemaker. My dad was a carpenter. And I remember it as clear as it was yesterday. I was in our home in the suburb of Detroit. And back in the day, you're not going to believe this, but there wasn't Cartoon Network or all the other wonderful kids streaming stuff. So there were 3 networks, and I was sitting doing my homework in the living room, and we had an archway to the kitchen. My mom could see me in the living room while she was cooking in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And I was doing my homework on the floor, watching TV, but not really watching. And a woman came on doing the evening news. And I'd never seen a woman before in that type of position. Her name is Jessica Savage. She was a precursor to Barbara Walters, Diane Sawyer, the Nora O'Donnell, who's on network news right now. But it always had been men. And she happened to be blonde and fair. And I looked and I was so surprised, and something jolted me in my spirit. And I turned to my mom and I said, Mom, I want to do that when I grow up. And my mother was stirring a big bowl of stew, and she looked me in the eye and she said, well, then you will. And she turned right back around and kept on stirring the stew. So you know what? I never thought for a moment that I couldn't. And what she probably should have said is, Kym, your odds of getting to New York and being an anchor woman. Oh, I'm going to move into the other room because now we've all of a sudden got helicopters and all kinds of things going on here. That must be my mom from.
She heard you.
Yeah, saying you better be talking about me well. Anyway, my mom should have said, the odds of you becoming a news anchor in New York are slim to none. You are in Detroit. Your dad entertainment world, and you are most likely going to work for GM, Ford, or Chrysler. So get over yourself and don't be silly, and let's finish your homework. But she didn't. And she was so encouraging. And I guess I just want to say that to your audience. If it's a CEO or a future businesswoman right now thinking like, maybe I could do this, but I'm in Ohio, or I'm in Alabama, whatever. You know what? Just don't let anyone tell you can't. Yeah. And so from the age of 12 on, I just made that my quest, that's what I was going to do. And I never veered from it, and I never wavered. And the day I turned 16, I went to our local, I got my driver's license, and I went to our local news station, and I said, I don't care what I have to do, if I have to clean toilets or sweep the floor, but I'd love to intern here and be a part of your station, because I wanted to be around news, and I wanted to be around what I thought, was going to be my career path. So I went there. They gave me an internship. It was actually more of a tour guide for the local Girl Scout, Boy Scout group, senior citizens around the news station. I ran into the news director every day because I was going into the news room.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I went up to him and I said, I want to be a newscaster. What do I need to do? He told me what college to go to. He told me what degree to get. He told me what grades to get. And he said, if you
Wow.
don't do that and you graduate in 4 years, I'll give you a job. So,
Wow.
you know what I did? I went
Yeah.
to college. I got the grades. I did the major and I graduated on Friday. And I
Yeah.
walked into his office on Monday and I said, 4 years ago, you said you'd give me a job if I blah, blah, blah. Here it is. Here's my transcripts. I want a job. And he said, man, I never thought I'd see you again, but okay. So, he gave me a per diem job, which means I was hired by the day. I wasn't
Yeah.
under contract or anything, but if anyone got sick or got pregnant or whatever, I could fill in. So I prayed for pregnancies, and I hate to say it, but I actually prayed for people to get colds, and they would be out a couple of days, and I would get enough time on air to make a demo reel. And then I went to Upper Michigan, and I became an anchor woman at 21, anchoring the 6 and 11 o'clock news, which was rather unique for its time. And my
Yeah.
first interview up there was with a man named Jerry Douglas from The Young and the Restless. I was on my pathway to be Barbara Walters and go to New York and Chicago and be a Milwaukee. And I ended up interviewing him. And 6 months later, we were married. So that took care of that.
Wow.
And he
You
was,
just took me on a ride.
I know, right? And he was under contract in Hollywood, being John Abbott on The Young and the Restless. So I moved from upstate Michigan, Marquette, to Hollywood within 6 months, which is not the right route to take for news. And I found myself in Hollywood, and everyone was like, we've never even heard of Marquette. You're never getting on air here. So good luck. And
That's crazy. Yeah.
that was the turning point. And again, it's so relevant to what's going on right now. It's like you have to pivot. When God takes you on a different ride and you have your path all set out, but he takes you on it, you've got to learn to pivot. And if you can flow, you're going to be successful. If you stay with your foot in the ground, I wanted to be Barbara Walters and I'm not moving. Guess what? I would have been still sitting there 30 years later going, I'm still really good and you should have me as an anchor woman. Well, it didn't happen. So that's where my pivot to the beauty world came. So I found myself out here in Hollywood. There was a new network starting up that no one had heard of and everyone said wouldn't last, called E-Entertainment. And everyone was like, oh, no one's going to watch 24 hours of entertainment. That's never going to last. So I auditioned there and they said, yes, we'll hire you. So I got into their like entertainment news, but they wanted me to do gossip. And I didn't feel in my spirit that that was the right thing for me. I'm not judging anybody, but it didn't feel right for me. So I said, you know what? I love interviewing Jennifer Lopez. I love interviewing Jennifer Aniston. I love interviewing Heidi Klum, but I don't want to say gossip about them. How about if I find out their beauty secrets? Because everyone wants to know, how does J-Lo get that glow? How does Heidi Klum keep that body? How does Jennifer Aniston do her hair? So I ended up pivoting into that arena. And it led me into researching and finding the top beauty experts, the top makeup artists, the people that would do Jennifer Aniston's hair, the people that would do J-Lo's skin and facials. And then I ended up finding out really great things like, Jennifer Lopez really does talk about how her grandmother did a sugar scrub. And that's what she does. She goes in the shower with brown sugar and a body wash and scrubs her skin daily. And that helped to promote that beautiful glow. So that's how I got into the beauty world.
Oh my gosh, this is so fascinating. Like I've just been like a kid on the court, the edge of my seat the whole time. This is amazing. And I love that you have had this incredible, you took a turn, into what your passion was. But I love that you said that you have to go with the flow. I mean, that really hit me, personally, because I know that is something that I know I struggle with. I know a lot of my friends struggle with, and it's the best advice I think that you could ever give. So, that's Amazing. So, okay, so you got into beauty, and then what was your, like, when you got in, what did you want to do, like, independently, like, other than learning about, like, it's beauty is such a big world, right? So
Yeah.
it's like hard to find a niche. So how did you approach that?
So I'm going to be really vulnerable right now. And I haven't said this on any other podcast or interview, but I wish I could tell you that I had this grand plan and I wanted to be of service to others and, help my community and blah, blah, blah. But I got into beauty fairly young. I was only 23. So it was all about me. And here's my honesty to you.
Yeah.
In high school, I wasn't the least popular, but I wasn't the most popular girl. And I wasn't super confident and I didn't feel super pretty. I felt like Kathy Murphy and Kathy Miller and Maria Mercader were all so much prettier and they had boyfriends that were more popular. And this is the honest to God truth. I just wanted to be liked. And I felt that the way I could be liked and I could be popular and I could be successful. And remember, this is back in the day. This isn't our woke society now.
Yeah.
I had to be beautiful. And if I was beautiful, then I could be successful and then I could be popular and then I could achieve my dreams. And it isn't that much different now, but what's different now is that society has opened up and said, you can be beautiful, whatever size, color, hair color, height. I was 5'2". I wasn't 6 feet. I didn't have the body of Kendall Jenner. I didn't look like Gigi Hadid. And I wanted to be pretty. I just wanted to be beautiful and be liked. And here's my message to you. I don't think there's anything really wrong with that. I don't think we have to say beauty's terrible and you shouldn't want to be beautiful. You should want to be a scientist and change the world and save. It does start inside. It is an inside job, to coin a cliche. And if you do feel good about yourself and confident and beautiful in you, not outside beauty. I'm 5'2". I'm never going to be 6 feet. I feel pretty at 5'2". I really do. I love having a small waist and some curvy hips and tiny feet. And that's okay. Now, society says I can never be a model. I can never walk a runway. I can never wear clothing for a designer because I'm not tall and hanger-like body. But that's okay. I really like my body. And that
I
was
love
my
that.
thank you. That was my motivation for getting into the beauty industry. I wanted to be pretty.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? First of all, thank you so much for opening up, because that is like, it means so much to talk to such, inspirational women such as yourself for me. And, just to hear that, it actually, for me, hit me really deep because I had very similar experiences, I think, and I relate to everything you just said. And, it was more difficult back in the day. I mean, hell, it was more difficult back when I was in high school too, and it was like, you couldn't say, well, I am this and I'm proud of it, because you got bullied over stuff like that, So right now, like the age we're living in, I don't think, we acknowledge how far we've come. You know what I mean? Like, we really, So I love everything that you said. And I'm just so grateful that you had the intelligence and the mental evolution to be able to accept this like idea of, personal growth and just focusing on that. Because I think, we talk about so many topics, right? Like, I'm sure you've heard about all the buzzwords, right? Diversity, inclusion, and, equal representation. And I'm behind all of those words, but it really comes down to what you said, which is self-acceptance and really loving yourself. Yeah.
Right. You can say all the right terms and you can march in all the right parades. But you know what? If inside you really don't feel that, and maybe that morning mask is going to make you feel like your skin glows a little, maybe that new haircut is going to make you like you can swing your head around, maybe that, new, t-shirt that kind of shows off your breasts and pulls in your waist is going to make you feel a little like you can walk a little higher, then that is truly where it starts. It isn't where it ends, but it's
Yeah.
where it starts. And then, if I may, I'm going to take you to the transition. So that's when I was 23, right? So
Yes.
then
Yep.
I had this really wonderful, charmed life. I married the love of my life. He was a soap star. He was super romantic. It was roses and, walks in the park quite often. We had this
Oh,
beautiful son, Hunter, after a very bad fight with infertility. And he just ended up being the joy of our life and, everything. And I got on Entertainment, and then I went to the Ellen DeGeneres Show, and I am her current most reoccurring guest star ever.
wow.
Could not have been more gracious and loving and kind to me. I ended up working on Ellen DeGeneres Show. I also was a regular every day on a Hallmark channel called Home and Family. And here's another interesting little funny thing before I go into my final turn on beauty. So
Yeah.
I ended up being, and this is so prominent about where we are today in society and politics and woke and diversity and all those buzzwords that you said. I
Yeah.
ended up being this one person that was on the Ellen DeGeneres Show. So she, as we all know, is very LGBTQ, Democratic. Michelle Obama's on almost as often as I am.
Yeah.
We all know Ellen's politics and where she stands, right?
Exactly.
Wonderful,
Yeah.
great, strong. Then I go over to Ellen on Monday and Friday, but on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I'm over on Hallmark, which is very middle America, farmland, um,
Ah, yes.
uh, more conservative skew, more, family, the nuclear family oriented. And here's what I am so proud of. I'm able to walk that middle ground where I don't upset anybody from the Ellen population or
Yeah.
anybody from the Hallmark population. And that I'm very proud of, because I'll tell you what, I believe in inclusivity for everyone. I
Yeah.
don't I don't alienate anyone from either side. I'm able to say, here's where we can come together. We
Yeah.
all want to be happier, brighter, more joyful. We all want our families happy. We
Yeah.
all want to be healthy. We all want to eat well. We all want, so I can tell you, I can sit here for 2 hours and tell you all the things that we have in common on both ends, on
I
this side
love
and on that
everything.
side.
I love everything you're saying, and I
Oh,
hate interrupting you because
oh,
like
please
I could
do.
listen to you for hours, and but like
Oh,
I just want to say that like seriously, like this is like so this is one of the most real conversations because that's again because you have had this journey of this self-acceptance and self-love and just exuding that. That's what allows you to be you don't need to be labeled, you know what I mean? And to me
right,
that's like the epitome, yeah, that's the epitome of
right,
whatever people call like self-awareness or all these things, because you know who you are, and so
right.
you don't need a label like in terms of politics or in terms
I
of
really don't.
causes.
I
Yeah.
won't take one. I won't take one. And here's the other thing I won't do. I won't alienate anyone. I won't
Yeah.
alienate you because you're transgender, you're LGBT, what LGBTQ. I won't alienate you because you're super conservative, because
Yeah.
you do go to church I won't alienate anybody, because I feel like we have so much more in common, and we have so much more that we can work together
Yeah.
on, rather than divisive. And I think we've had a really strong amount of time of divisive thoughts, politics, and actions. And
Yeah.
now it's time to come together. So okay, so here now, so now I'm going to take you a step further. So
Awesome.
then I walk that balancing act, right? And I do
Yeah.
it easily. It's not like I have to say, oh, I don't want to, I really feel this way. I really walk this way. I really, so anyway, I do that, and I have this fairly charmed life, right? Everything's going pretty darn good.
Yeah.
And then I go 3 years without going to get a mammogram. I'm super busy. I got too much going on. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. Look at me. I'm so fab. And then I go to my gynecologist. Sherry, and she says, let's do a mammogram. You haven't done one for 3 years. I'm like, oh, I don't really have time, Sherry. She goes, let's just do it. I go in
Yeah.
and I do it. 3 days later, I'm walking with my girlfriend who's just recovered 5 years out from stage 4 breast cancer. And I get a call saying, we saw something on your mammogram. We need to.
Oh no.
So, cut to, I'm going to go through all of that and just say, I had stage 3B breast cancer. It was in my skin and my breast. I did a double mastectomy. I did 18 and a half weeks of chemo, and I did 7.5 weeks of radiation. So, all the pretty
Wow.
stuff that I told you about, how I wanted to be as pretty as Kathy Murphy and Maria Mercator and Kathy Miller in high school, well, all that got ripped away. I had no hair. I had no eyebrows. I had no eyelashes. I had no breasts. I was green, and I was working on camera every day in high definition TV, standing next to 20-year-olds. So if that doesn't bring
Wow.
you to your knees, I don't know what will.
Yeah. Wow. I
So
am like
much for
floored right now. Wow. Like, and you know what? This is just for me, like, it's just so eye-opening because you are talking about beauty in a way that I think nobody wants to talk about. It is like, this is so real, and it's so much deeper than vanity. It's so much deeper than, anything. It's a feeling we have inside of joy. And that's exactly what, yeah, please continue. I don't want to rant. I want you to tell me everything. Yeah.
I'm so happy that that it stimulates thoughts in you and direction that you and your listeners can go. So here I am, no hair, no eyebrows, no eyelashes. And I'm like, but I'm not going to stop working. I can't, because it's the only thing that's giving me something else to think about besides cancer. And am I going to die? My mortality. So I got a 21-year-old. I've got an older husband. I'm a beauty expert, and I look like hell. So now what do I do? And Hollywood certainly isn't all that forgiving either about age, let alone you're older and you got cancer. Geez, we really don't want you. So my other network, I'm going to be honest with you, was kind of like, we'd rather you not mention it. But
Wow.
Ellen said to me, not only do I want you on my show, and I want you sitting next to me. Oh my gosh, I'm going to get just a little bit emotional here because it was so gracious of her. I want you on my show. I want you next to me. I want you sitting in a seat, and I want you to tell your story.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
That turned everything around for me. It really did, because it made me say, you know what? I am going to be strong. And she's accepting me without my hair, without my beauty, and not feeling very funny.
Wow. Yeah. Well, you found your own kind, Kym.
Yes.
You know?
I did.
Yeah.
So I did that episode, which is on YouTube, by the way. And it ended up being a very, very, very high rated episode for Ellen. And the kind of people that Ellen has on, from Oprah Winfrey to, Kelly Clarkson to Michelle Obama to whatever. So anyway, it ended up being one of her highest rated episodes. And interestingly enough, the day after it aired, my other network came to me and said, oh, when we told you not to mention it, we didn't mean, can you go ahead and talk about it now?
They changed their whole tone,
right?
Because they need a leader. See, I'm just going to say this. There are leaders and there are sheep.
That's right.
Ellen, like, I'm not even kidding. Like, Ellen, I remember when I first saw Ellen on TV, I go with vibes with people. I don't know if you know what I mean, but I can immediately tell in my gut if I'm going to vibe with you and if I'm not, and if I can respect you or not. And when I saw Ellen for the first time, I remember feeling like this woman is going to, like, be somebody that can, talk about things that I always wanted to learn about. I always wanted more, like, more coverage of. Like, she's just she's a warm soul is what I'm trying to say. And that just exudes out of her. And I think when I said you found your own kind, that's exactly how I felt about you, like, so I think that is so rare, but it's so powerful. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that shifted everything for me. And now my purpose being in the beauty world is to share with other women and men about clean beauty, about how much toxins are in beauty products, about how careful we have to be about reading labels, about
Yeah.
what you put on your lips and on your skin, how it absorbs into your system, and how your immune system can be affected if you do put too many chemicals in. Um,
Right.
it's moved into such a different level than what we first started talking about, where I just wanted to be pretty and have you like me. Now it's
Yeah.
like, oh, forget it. I just want you to be healthy and strong. And I want you to be a warrior. And I want you to know that if you are going to put that, lotion on your body or that sunscreen, just make sure that it's got this, this, and this, and not this, this, and this. And I
Yeah.
want you to be beautiful, but be beautiful and strong. Be
Yeah.
beautiful and a survivor, a warrior, a thriver. And it just is such a different meaning for me than it was when I was 23.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, it's almost as if, like, you discover, like, who you are, and then you discover that your entire standard of beauty has been
Yeah,
transient your whole life, It's like
exactly.
looking at yourself in the mirror, and, for me, I know, like, when I, like, got into my 30s, I think that was the first time I ever looked at myself and said, like, I'm looking at myself as a human being, and I
Oh,
love what I see. And it's like this
oh,
personal journey. You know what I mean? Like, that's
I
what I mean. Like, it's a
love that.
personal journey. And I think, everything you've been through, everything you've endured and fought through, it's not just inspirational, but it's like almost as if have discovered the depth, like, you have to find, like, the depth of things, right? Like, there's no light without darkness. There's no positivity
Exactly.
without the negativity. So it's like you hit bottom, and then you were able to rise to the very top. You know what I mean? So it's
You're
just, I
right.
love it. I love it.
I mean, I had to look up to see bottom. So this woman that I thought myself had this charmed life, just, when you get hit with that, you got a 21-year-old, you got an older husband, you got stage 3B, you're just like, are you like, it doesn't get worse. It
Yeah.
really doesn't. And, there were days that I have this old oak tree that's been cut down in my backyard ravine. And I would go out to my stump and I would just cry to God and be like, what is this? Why? How am I going to ever? And you're so right. It's when you hit that rock bottom that you
Yeah.
really can you see it from a different angle. And it's what stimulated me to take this passion and, led me to write this book that's coming up about how to live beautifully, both inside and out. I want to share this with all women. I want to give them everything that I've got, my 37 years of experience,
Yeah.
and really share it from a different level.
I'm so excited you're coming out with a book.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Like, we can't just skip over that.
I know,
That's,
right?
wow. I want you to have, like, a whole TV show, I feel like, Kim.
Well,
Like, this is,
you're gonna freak out, but I actually am in talks with someone very, very popular who has a family that's on TV all the time, and
yeah.
she wants to executive produce, and we're talking with several networks right now, and
Oh
I
my
think it's really
God.
going to happen. So, you know what? Again, I say that to say it only was because I hit rock bottom that
Yeah.
I was able to kind of then say, you know what, I have so much more that I want to share on this platform. And that led. So if any of your listeners are in a place right now where they're kind of like, wow, this isn't going so great, and I don't have a lot of options right now, and I'm not sure of my purpose, they can say, you know what, it's going to turn around.
Yeah.
The light is going to shine through. Just keep looking, just keep staying strong, and it will turn around, and it's going to be better than it was before you had that dark time.
Yeah. Wow. No, it's so, like, it's rare to find people who can really speak about, true, like, just, when you say, like, I'm going through a dark time, like, what that really means and what that does to your soul, and the inspiration that comes from that. And more importantly, the fearlessness. I think
Right.
that's the biggest, you know what I mean? Like, when,
Yeah.
like, speaking to you, I can tell that you are not only such a strong woman, but you've seen real fear and real, just danger, and you've overcome that. So now it's like, it must be like, well, everything is possible. You know what I mean? Like that's extraordinary.
Exactly. And that is a really freeing place to be,
Yeah.
So it's wonderful. It's wonderful to pivot and change and grow and accept what you've always said through this whole podcast. The self-acceptance is what is really the main part.
Yes, I agree. And, I want to shift focus a little bit, and I want to actually ask you about, what you think about the beauty community and like the beauty experts right now. Do you think that, it's a positive thing, or do you think that it's kind of spiraling? Because I just want your, general opinion about it. Because I really, I don't know what to think sometimes. I think people like they go in a direction and they like hop on a bandwagon, and there's no like genuine, you know what I mean? Like genuine content is what I mean. Like, how do you feel about that?
So here's how I feel. And remember, I'm in a different demographic than you and probably a lot of your listeners and maybe a lot of the people that you follow. Here's what's hard for me. When I see, and I have so much empathy and I'm so pro-woman, I really am. But when I see a 19-year-old that is an influencer, and I'm putting my fingers in quotes, that is in the basement in Ohio of her mom and dad's home. And she is telling me about a wrinkle cream for around the eyes and trying to sell that to me.
Yeah.
I'm offended. I'm offended, A, because she's 19 and she doesn't have wrinkles and she shouldn't be thinking about that right now. Right. I'm offended when our Revlon or L'Oreal or whoever puts on, flawless 20-year-old supermodels to tell me how anti-aging, which I have a problem with right there. I want to tell you right now, it's pro-aging. It's not anti. That a woman is getting older, there's nothing wrong with that. It's life. God made us to age. So don't say anti-aging. It's pro-aging. And here's your other option. You don't want to age, then you're going to die. So don't say anti-aging. You are privileged if you are living long enough to have wrinkles on your face. Now, do I think there's anything wrong with trying to moisturize and use cream and do things that are going to make you look fresh and youthful and make you look on the outside the way you feel on the inside? Not at all. I am absolutely for that. But don't tell me it's anti-aging. Don't tell me that when you turn 40, I'm not going to be listening to skincare anarchy anymore because you're 40. That is not true. It's you're richer. You've got more experience. You're better. Let's look to our women that have gone through a lot of things in life and garner from their experience. Let's not throw them out with the baby. Let's not throw them out with the wash, So I have a problem with the beauty industry only showing us one aspect of beauty.
Yeah. And going backwards, right? Like they're going backwards. Like, for example, like I know on your recent appearance on Ellen, I know you, demonstrated one of the brands was Womaness, and I had the privilege of interviewing the founders. Yeah. Love. Yeah. And I was so excited first of all.
Oh, they're wonderful.
Yeah, they really are. They really are. And I remember like, when I first had them on, for example, and when I had, Pause Well Aging, the founder of Pause Well Aging, like those kind of brands, I was thinking to myself, I'm like, there's this beauty in age and there's this wisdom in age that nobody wants to speak about. When you use the word age, why is there a negative connotation to that? If you are negative about aging, then you're negative about life. I mean, that's just how I see it. Aging is, it's wisdom, it's experience, like you said, and it's so many different factors that are coming together to make you a much more, just well-rounded person. And it should never be.
And a more beautiful person. Because you know what, when we're talking about what you do every day on your podcast about beauty. Everyone is beautiful when they're young and they're 15 and they're 18 and they've got taut skin and they've got beautiful shiny hair or whatever. It's easy to be beautiful. But what true beauty is, and the beauty industry and the beauty world, it's being beautiful when it is a little harder, when you are a little older, when the skin is a little drier, when
Yeah.
that's when, I think Jane Fonda is exquisite. She's 81. I think Meryl Streep is stunning. She's 65.
Yes.
I think Oprah Winfrey is amazing with her big, full, wonderful, bouncy hair. I think I can
Stunning,
list you, 500 women. But the thing is with Womanness and the two owners, female-owned company, which I love being a part of, is that, at first when they came to me and they said, we'd like to talk to you about our product and trying it. I was like, oh gosh, it's menopause. Oh God, that's old, that's crusty, and then I said, but wait a minute, it's part of life. It's what happens to women. It's a second chapter. And there's nothing wrong with mentioning that that's what a woman's cycle goes through.
Yeah.
Why would we not want to say what is absolutely true? And I love that they have a neck cream. You need to start working on your neck, ladies, when you're 20. Get that cream down there. Use Let's Neck and keep your neck all lubricated and moisturized. We all have tech neck now. We all have, so many areas that we can have those bands around our neck. If you don't need to have them, why have them? Use a product that, and just so many other things that we can be feeling good about. They have a cream that is for all over your body, and it helps with any dry skin, your elbows, your knees. It helps with any crepiness. Why not use something like that? But I love that Womanness addresses those things and
in
says,
a positive way, like in a positive way. Yes. And, I just wanted to say, like, people use the word, for example, mother a lot, right? Some sort of feminine energy is introduced in the idea. And they say things like Mother Earth.
Right.
Well, Mother Earth goes through seasons, just like every woman goes through seasons. So would you tell nature to say, would you tell nature, no, don't do fall, you need to go back to summer? Would you do that? You know what I mean?
So good.
Yeah, no, I mean that. And it's like, you have to realize how big of an oxymoron that word anti-aging is. Like, and, everyone out there who's, like all about, I have to get rid of every line on my face and I have to, all that. It's like, you need to self-discover first, I think. Like, you need to meditate and relax. And you know what I mean? Like,
it's so true. You're so, so right. And I've embraced that. And I have to tell you, that is a wonderful form of diversity that I am seeing a little more of now, which is what we've just talked about, age, that, you don't have to just be 20-year-old Bella Hadid or, whoever, promoting beauty and skincare and loveliness. You can be a little bit older. And I've embraced it. And it's given me a whole new career because a lot of my counterparts are wanting to not acknowledge that they're over 40. They don't want, no, don't say my age. I'm like, let me preach it from the mountaintops. I also am partnered with another company called Sarah Vital that I've been with for 8 years. And that's kind of like, it's like a revolutionary renewal complex, and it has great vitamins and things that help you just with keeping your skin a little bit thicker when it starts to thin out, with keeping feeling more energized and things like that. And I just want to say this one other thing about Sarah Vital that doesn't really happen very often, as you may know, in the beauty world. So I got with this company. I signed a 6-year contract with them 8 years ago, and things just kept going well. And I resonated with their audience, and it was wonderful. And I loved Sarah Vital, and I promoted it. And then, so Sarah Vital is it's a vitamin. It's a health. It's an amino acid. It helps you be healthy and strong, right? So then I get hit with breast cancer. And I start looking not so healthy. I start a disease that's not so great for a vitamin company. So I call up my agent crying and I say, so they're going to drop me, I'm sure. And my contract came up every quarter. So right when I got diagnosed, it was the beginning of the new quarter and they could drop me or keep me. And so I told my agent, I said, I have to be honest with you. And, my agent gets 10% too. So he wanted it to go on, but we both were like, uh-oh. So I said, I don't want to tell them, but I know I have to. He said, we have to. So let me call him up. Let me tell him you have stage 3 cancer.
Oh,
And he
yeah.
said, we know what's going to happen. So they called him up, Sarah Vital, they're based out of Utah. And he said, so your spokeswoman is really sick and she may not make it. And she's going to go through all of this stuff for the next 2 years. So we just want to let you know. And you guys think about it. And when the next payment is due in 2 days, you let us know if you're going to go on with her or if you're going to drop her and get somebody new. So 2 days go by, we get nothing. 3 days go by, a week. A week later, I not only get my contract renewed, but I get a bonus from them that they want
Wow.
on for a lot longer. And they never dropped me. And you know what? I want to tell you something. I will be loyal to that company forever because they had the opportunity with no judgment. And I would never have told this story to just drop me and say, look, we're a vitamin company. We need somebody healthy. We don't want somebody who's gotten hit with cancer. And they stayed with me. And I will forever be grateful. And that's the kind of companies like Womaness, like Sarah Vital, that I lend my name and my platform to.
These are real, like companies with a heart and a soul and ethics and morals. Oh my gosh. Like, I am so happy that you shared that because that's exactly what we need. That is beauty. You want to talk about beauty? That's beauty.
Right?
Yeah. That's beauty, because at the end of the day, if you cannot make someone feel lifted or, just beautiful and okay and safe, then you are not allowed to talk about beauty because that is the essence of it. And that's what really matters. I'm so happy that you told that story.
Yeah. It feels really good.
I love that.
And I'm careful. I only promote beauty products and companies that I've used them, I've tried them, I've researched them, they're safe, they're healthy for my followers, and that I like. Because you know what? I don't have to promote every lipstick or every mascara. I just, I'm at a stage in my life, I don't have to do that anymore. So I love that because my followers and your listeners know that if I'm going to endorse something, I really believe in it. And that's the answer to your earlier question, which was, what do you feel about what's going on in the beauty industry? And I don't always feel it's all that legit. I think if, these young influencers get paid $500 to promote this lipstick that's laced with, chemicals or iodine or toxic whatever, it's not good. That's not good. You need to research it before you promote it.
100%. Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. And I think that there needs to be a huge reevaluation of, why brands are being launched and what the vision is. And honestly, Kym, if I'm very, very candid and open about it, my goal with this podcast was to hear every single person's story. Like, no joke. People ask me, they're like, Ekta, why do you do so many interviews? And I'm like, because there are so many stories in the world. And if I can't, what am I if I don't listen to those perspectives, and make an analysis based on truth,
So good. Wow. I think that makes you a richer person. I really do. More depth.
Yeah, no, it does. And I'm just so privileged now because I get to talk to people like you. So, it really comes down to just finding your home. It comes down to finding who you are and finding your home and everything that you've told us. And, I don't want to, I could talk to you for hours, Kym, honestly, and I'm going to beg you to come back on as many times as you can.
I would love it.
Thank you so much for this. And, everyone listening out there, I mean, if you have not been inspired by everything that we've heard and, all the amazing things that Kym has done and accomplished and achieved in her life, then I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what's going to inspire you after that. But thank you so much. And I'll be back next time with another episode. Thank you, Kym.
Thank you, darling. And you'll let everybody know they can find me at Instagram at Kym with the Y, Kym Douglas.
Yes.
Oh,
I'm going to tag everything in the art, and I'm going to, have everything listed there. So everyone listening, please check out all the tags and, just stay tuned for all the good stuff.
Love it. Be beautiful and be strong. And thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.